hanging from a thread till you dead, cause your partner put a price on your head, cause your chick was laying up in his bed. She getting details, spilling every word that you said. She working retail, thirsty bitch just trying to get ahead. If history tell us anything, y'all both end up dead. It's just a street tale, a fable, some shit someone said. Sit at the table and hope there's more to offer than bread. Pulled out the cradle, first steps you getting chased by a fed. No head starts, just body parts and lead sparks. Old religion, brand new hate and weak hearts. Oligarchs, krakens, dragons, you see sharks. Imagine you could manage to maneuver the deep part. You a savage, you can have it, just show all your teeth sharp. If you could grab it, you could stab it, just aim for the bleeding heart. The ones that show compassion, a soldier that seeks art. Does the artist that wage war take over or take part? Taking a knee, thinking no one faithful is me. I'm good people in bad lands, no evil live within me. I mind mine, I'll survive, find this lands for the free. If I'm mistaken, I'm forsaken, no one rescuing me. Residual effects, stray bullets through familiar necks. For any number of infractions that I deem disrespect. Your beliefs, you deserve better, but we both in the shit. You just haven't come to grips with it yet. Fight or flight, and they ain't really nowhere to go. If your back is against the wall and you ain't throwing no blows, you gon' crumble in the rubble, become blood in the snow. If you a victim, they collect them, grab the body and go. Dig them and ditch them, total disregard for the soul. Gas them and lit them, watch the flesh burn in the glow. Where we live and catch a shivering, it's a hell you don't know. Your best hope is that your dying ain't slow, or your dying's a show. Where we at, it's every man for his own. A bloody backdrop, where killers just zone and slice flesh to the bone. Masked and gloved up front of your home. A flash of gun, but the side of your dome. Fresh blood from a stone, dents in your sense. Kick your fucking ball through the fence, dare you to say something. No sense in sitting around in suspense. Find out what's next, open your fucking mouth, disrespect. See the extent of how my life is intense. She beautiful and oppressed in a permanent summer dress. She a servant and still she blessed. Children cradled against her breast, whispering prayers, wishing their souls the best, knowing that they forgotten, not forgetting they're blessed. The bloodiest red lights, just piles of dead life. Something must be broken, the glyphs wasn't read right. You think them Bible papers will shed light? Yeah, right. Burn after reading, tell the preacher I'm leaving. What's poppin', people? Welcome back to Shot Ill Reacts. I'm your host, Shot Ill, and we are back in the building. Salutes to y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out on this lovely, what is it, hump day afternoon. Salutes. Hope everybody's out there getting that paper, them coins, and in the young purse and getting the millions. I hope everybody's getting after that money today. Salute to y'all. We got a couple of things to talk about. What is popping, y'all? Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. All right. Believe it or not, your boy got mad work done so far this morning. So, shit been busy around here, and it will continue to. All right. We memorizing lines on this side. We making edits and launching new channels. Got a bunch of stuff lined up that's gonna drop. Pay attention to the community section. I'm gonna be blasting through the community section more than usual. From now on, I'm putting out a community post for every video on every channel. All right, on the Shy Ill Reacts community post. We're making moves around here. All right. Remember, for those that don't know, I'm moving all of the body cams and true crime stuff over to Ill Crimes. All right. For those that haven't checked out Ill Crimes, make sure y'all go sub up over there. We're gonna put up the link right here. Bio. So everybody could go give us a sub up over there. And we're going to keep the true crime stuff over there, and we're going to keep it Cartel on this side over here. That's where we at with it, all right? Salutes to y'all. Let me get through the chat real quick. It's just a couple of us in here today. I don't know what's happening with the algorithm, or maybe it's just the people are tired of me already. It is what it is. We here. I like to argue that the algorithm doesn't push me out enough. The El Tubo doesn't promote this channel enough. That's what I'll say it is. Salute. Shout out 298 on the check-in. All right, salute 298. We saw you, dog. We thought you were at the Boots Ennis fight, but we saw you. We think we saw you at the Luis Contriquez fight, or whatever that fool's name is, over there breaking drums and shit over corridos. We think we saw you there. Shout out Shannon on the check-in. I appreciate you. All right, Shannon been present, running back and forth between the channels, catching the content. Salutes to you, everybody. When you got a free time and you looking for content, you know you ain't got to look no further. Because I'm pretty sure even the usual suspects ain't seen everything on this channel. Facts. All right. So salute Shannon. Salute Eddie Jimenez. I appreciate you, sir. Take a second to hit the like button, y'all. I agree. Shout out my brother Oso. Salutes Deb Heiser. Chat. Happy hump day. Salutes. Boom, there's the link for Ill Crimes. Make sure you hit that. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm just here to...
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff for my friends.
That's it, man. I came to do hood rat stuff for my friends. There's a couple of things we're going to talk about today. Ran into a live stream last night where they were talking about... a topic that I hadn't heard about. Or... we've spoken about it when they've thrown the snitch flyers out during this war in Sinaloa, but they were talking last night about the pizzas targeting U.S. journalists. Right? There's a dude that got a couple of points that he puts together and says, "Man, I'm thinking they're targeting these people." So we're gonna take a look at that. We're gonna take a look at an article about the U.S. sending 13 prisoners that were imprisoned here back to Mexico. So we're just expelling and extraditing back and forth. Everybody gets their own. All right, we're going to talk about the jerk-off on the news. They said don't wear a bull's hat, you know. Or not only the jerk-off on the news, the jerk-offs in government. You wear a bull's hat, you deserve to be in Seaside Prison in El Salvador. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to, basically, word is we not getting Buddy back. None of them back. Everybody's like, oh, that's the rules, that's the law. My thought is, if you flip it about something like this, you're willing to put a completely innocent person in there and find a million reasons why he belongs there. So, miss me with that bullshit, all right? So, we're going to talk about that. What else? A couple things lined up, then we're going to get out of here. Again, I got lines to memorize. I got a gig tomorrow. Y'all won't hear from me tomorrow. Everything will be automated. When the premieres pop off, unless I'm on a break at the gig that I'm at, I won't be in the live chat. But please, guys, feel free interact in the live chat amongst each other when I'm not there. Again, I say it all the time. There's not enough me. If I could have a couple of clones, man, I'd have a serious operation going here. You know what I mean? But that's always been the truth. But we here today, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Hunters up in the chat to y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I hope everybody's having a good day at work. And then the next time I see you on a live stream will be Friday Night Live. Oh no, we're gonna get to that, Eddie Jimenez. Can't wear Bulls caps. According to the news and according to the government, you know, you wear a Bulls cap, and if you're even close to El Salvadorian, right? You could be your first name could be Salvador, right? You don't have to be El Salvadorian. Your first name just gotta be Salvador, and you're wearing a Bulls hat. You go to Seaside. Take your ass to Seaside. Shout out Shannon. I agree. They targeting journalists. We're gonna talk about that too, right? First things first. Let's see where we at. Should I do the quick ones first and the long one second, or the long one first and the quick one second? Fuck it, we're gonna go with this long one here. All right, we're gonna tune in. This is Oscar Blue Ramirez. All right, subbed up. Let's give him a like. I'm not too familiar with a lot of his videos. I don't watch a bunch of his videos, but I this popped up yesterday. I know I subbed to him. I like to, if I see something that I think, all right, when I got time, I'm gonna sit down and pay attention over here. I'll save him, and I saved this and subbed up. And then yesterday, a live stream popped up, and he was talking to another journalist named Aaron Ibarra, who is in Sinaloa, who is in Culiacan, and they have this conversation. Let's get it again. Salutes to y'all. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. Share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow our other channels. We do true crime. We do MMA. We do hip hop. We do, cartel stuff. We're everywhere. Let's get it. Morning to the chat. Wish everyone is making them millions today. Salutes. Salutes to you, Mike Lopez. Appreciate you. Let's get it.
There has been some kind of situations in the United States that are called swatting, right? Swatting, like the police officers, or they receive a fake phone call, and the unit goes into the address, and they say, oh, they reported that there was a crime over here. So they have a legitimate statement to go in without a warrant to do a search. Now, there has been several situations.
That's crazy, boy. You just get a warrantless search done on your crib because somebody swatted you. Happens to people on YouTube all the time. It's gotten people unalived. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. All right? Shout out Velez on the check-in. Not me. I personally don't really respect junkies, so all this new so-called artists I ain't fucking with at all. You lost me. What was I talking about that you're responding to? Not me. I personally don't really respect junkies. So all this new so-called artists I ain't fucking with at all. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Shout out 298. Shout out Velez. But yeah, 1 minute you minding your business, next minute you got a warrantless search and a bunch of. Because to me, listen, man, I see the aggression in cops. To me, I don't see no different in them than I do with a gangbanger. It's all the same shit as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, it's all the same shit. So that energy comes in your house and now it's looking for shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shout out Shannon. I've drawn your attention to him once before. CJ&G denying responsibility for the termination camps. Facts. And we ended up seeing the article somewhere else and just going with that one. I remember. No, but salutes to him. He doing his thing, and let's get it.
Which I don't want to relate, but I don't want to sound. There has been several situations which I don't want to relate, but I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. But I want you to explain how this could be related, possibly. We have a lot of infiltration of the cartel, specific cartels in the borders to the United States. And they already have a lot of presence in the borders of the United States. They have been delivering pizzas to specific targets and to specific journalists. And they deliver the pizzas with the name of a journalist that was assassinated by a network that is called InfoWars. And also they have been threatening other journalists consistently of this particular mode operandi that is delivering pizzas. Now, I don't want to take it to that issue, but you more than anybody know this mode.
Okay, I didn't hear that part yesterday. Again, I jumped into the stream a little bit later. I understand a little better. He's saying they're ordering pizzas to people's place under the name of a journalist that was terminated. I thought they sent the pizzas and this until got a journalist terminated. That just sounds like a troll. Just hearing it from that line right there, it just sounds like a troll. Sounds like some nut huggers, some nut huggers that are really into the pizzas.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Some serious nut huggers that are into the pizzas, that play around and fuck around on the internet. That feels like trolls. I've seen it happen to a lot of people. That's a different level of trolling, right? It's a crazy level of trolling, but trolling indeed. So there is a possibility that it could be just trolling.
Operandi. Can you explain a little bit what Los Chapitos and La Chapizza, how can this possibly be related?
Yeah, well, first of all, we need to understand where are we standing on. I mean, this is a war, and absolutely no rules. Uh, mm, the early days when this explode, I mean, past September, uh, people from Culiacan knew that Mayos and Chapitos were at war. They're facing each other. The first topones, topon, we mean by topon when two rival groups collides with guns. So they need to send a message. The message always try to say, "I'm above, I'm the best, I'm leading this war," etc. So the first message, they pile or something like that, or dump bodies in a pile within a wall, and left these pizza boxes or pizza slices. No, when this happened, it's because these people was operating for Los Chapitos. You might say, but what's the connection? Well, here in Mexico,
See, but we never, and we even heard Aaron, Joan Grillo, even try to explain, because what he's talking about, he's telling the people, listen, man, during these wars and during these conflicts, these people identify each other. Maisa the pizzas, the hats the pizzas, right? And he's saying that when somebody gets smoked that work for the pizzas, that's when they put the pizza boxes and the pizza slices. Now, we've seen that. We've seen that in the gore section of our Discord. Firsthand. Domes in a pizza box. Daggers through a slice of pizza through somebody's dome. Like, we've seen it. Again, we don't know. And then we've also seen a group of people lined up on the street, covered in sombreros. But nobody has managed to be able to confirm which is which. If the hats are on you, did the hats end you? If the pizzas are on you, did the pizzas end you? Or is it the other way around? We haven't heard anybody confirm that yet. And to me, the dude with boots on the ground is Joan Grillo. But this guy seems to be a native from there. I've never heard of this guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we've covered his articles and I don't remember his name. But as far as I'm concerned, here on this channel, we haven't had anybody confirm which is which. We'll just take that with a grain of salt and keep it moving.
More in Sinaloa, in Culiacan, we have this contraction word for kind of make it plural. I mean, if it is chapitos, we say chapiza, which means like a lot of group of chapitos, like one group, two group, or a lot of group of people. It's not how much or how many. So we put this contraction to name a lot of people, like in this case, people from Chapitos, it's La Chapiza. Or because the Sinaloa cartel, it's kind of built like an umbrella by different groups. So all of the groups that are working with Los Chapitos, his name is La Chapiza. So if you separate the word cha, pizza, it's like a contraction. So they try like take it as a sign. They even has this kind of merchandising like hats with a slice of pizza or a pizza box, even in his drugs. If you buy a blonde, maybe a pill, I don't know,
He said if you buy a
you see the
blonde,
sign of
not a blunt,
the
a
slice of
blonde.
a pill, I don't know, you see the sign of the slice of a pizza. So so they made it his kind of signature, and is that the way they send messages?
So for people to understand what I am, and thank you for explaining, Aaron. So this is the video. The guy is called Owen Shore, and I don't know how to, particularly say his last name. It's really difficult to say his last name. So they swatted his house. It's a 3-minute video, Aaron. So I'm just going to play it with you on the screen so you can
Yeah.
see what I'm referencing and what I'm talking about. And then they have been sending pizzas randomly to these places, which it has a connection. I don't know. I don't know if it has a connection or not. If the organized crime or the cartel is extremely upset, mad that a lot of these journalists, they are talking about, bluntly what is going on in the borders or what is going on in terms to the cartels and in terms to the organized crime operating at the border. So let me just play it so everybody can understand.
I think to realize what was going on, and I might have even, God is always have his hands on everything. I can't express enough gratitude and appreciation for the people that always pray for me, but then after stuff like this really remind me of that. But after I came out, and I think the second time, because they're kind of shouting and they're in their game mode. So the first time I said this is a false report, I don't know if they heard me. And then the second time I said it, one of the officers was like, "Hey, I think he's right. I recognize him." And said something else I can't remember. It's not really picked up good on the audio because my camera was so far away. But at that point, I think that they kind of realized, okay, I think we know what's going on.
2 minutes before we went live, 10 minutes ago, so about 14 minutes ago, Owen has cameras all over his house. Looks like the Situation Room at the Pentagon. Inside as well.
Alex Jones looking healthy, boy. That boy, he quit drinking or something? He looking way healthier than he looked last couple of years.
Great guy. It's war room of just news and data. We don't have a studio in there. It's amazing. And so Owen's getting the pings from his house 15, 14 minutes ago. Pizza delivery. When he didn't order pizza, which they do after they SWAT you, which they do before, and then they can talk to the pizza place, engage whether you're home or not. Then they said that it's a harassment. A lot of times.
He said they do this before they SWAT you. They do it after they SWAT you. Maybe they talk to the pizza place, see if you're home. That don't make sense. I mean, what are you calling and telling the pizza place? And how many people are you doing this to that's not raising a red flag? How are you calling the pizza place and seeing if somebody's home? You're calling a pizza place. You're ordering a pizza. What would they do? Call in and say, "Oh, y'all didn't deliver my pizza"? Like, I just don't get it.
Sometimes there's a little threatening note with it.
Okay,
after they SWAT
note.
you, which they do before, one's getting the pings from his house 15, 14 minutes ago. Pizza delivery. When he didn't order pizza, which they do after they SWAT you, which they do before, and then they can talk to the pizza place and gauge whether you're home or not. Then they said that it's a harassment. A lot of times there's a little threatening note with it.
Sorry, excuse me.
Because you can tell the place to, give them a note. They don't even look at what they're giving you.
Shit. Tell the pizza delivery guy to give them a note.
Shit.
They don't even look at what you're giving them. Shit. Everybody reading that shit. So if the letter says
No, mommy's
the
wait.
pizza man know exactly what it says.
Ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes ago, we got this from well-known influencer on X, Trump supporter, Dustin Gage. It needs to be said out loud. They're receiving a second pizza delivery for Jamie White. They show evidence of it. This is the name of the employee, the star reporter for InfoWars, who was murdered 2 Sundays ago. I'm not the only conservative influencer who's received this identical pizza order. Let's expand that if we can. Yeah, click on the actual image so you can see Jamie White's name, please. So this is absolute terrorism going on. This is racketeering. It goes back.
So we go to profiles that they have been receiving this kind of things.
Let's see something.
The only conservative influencer is received, who was murdered. But it's up to be well-known influencer on X. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes ago, we got this from well-known influencer on X, Trump supporter, Dustin Gage. It needs to be said out loud. They're receiving a second pizza delivery for Jamie White. They show evidence of it. This is the name of the employee, the star reporter for InfoWars, who was murdered 2 Sundays ago. I'm not the only conservative influencer who's received this identical pizza order.
I'm not the only conservative influencer who's received this identical pizza order. Second pizza delivery for Jamie White. This is the name of the employee for InfoWars who was unalived in March. Why is the FBI spying on InfoWars? Blah, 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 blah.
Let's expand that if we can. Yeah, click on the actual image so you can see Jamie White's name, please. So this is absolute terrorism going on. This is racketeering. It goes back.
So we go to profiles that they have been receiving this kind of things on. This is a profile of a woman that is called Data Republican. It says, my husband has started
But
getting
about 11 p.m. last night.
unsolicited, it says unsolicited pizza orders. And this, profile has like 736,000 followers. Then, other profiles have been getting, this is the pizza deliveries that they have been getting, specifically orders to several different journalists. Also, this various district court judge is getting random pizza orders delivered into the same manner that various ex-creators also they're getting. Now, a lot of these people are saying that these pizzas are being delivered as a threat. Also, this profile by the name of Erin Durham has been also swatted, has been also being, also Joe Pags. Also, you have, other different types of profile. Chase Gazier, also from InfoWars, that they have been getting these kind of.
That's a lot of pizza. Somebody spending some paper on pizzas, all right? Somebody somebody spending some bread on some pizza. That's a lot of pizza.
Situations. Also, Nick Sortor, right here. Other independent journalists that they have been getting. And also you got Sean Farash, I think it is his last name. He got swatted. Also, and we go right here to the explanation that basically Arone was telling us about the Chapizza and the Chapizza. Let me ask a blunt question, Aron. Do you think that it has a connection, or don't you think that it has a connection?
I couldn't tell it right. I mean, here in Mexico, when you
Are we putting up a poll?
find, here in Culiacan, when you find a dead body with a pizza slice or a box of pizza, that's because someone from Los Mayos killed that guy, and that's a message. These people over here dead. These dead people over here work for Los Chapitos, no? And the other side also has his fallens. So when The policeman found his dead bodies. They found them with a hat on, or a hat besides the body, the dead body. So the message is these dead people were from El Mayo. So I don't know if it is related, but it's too much coincidence. I don't know if I made myself clear.
That's too much coincidence. Yeah, and yeah, it's a lot of coincidence of what is happening over here, and there's a lot of presence of these criminal groups in the parts of the United States of America that possibly they're targeting a lot of the journalists in the United States now. It is really easy to target in Mexico. Really easy to target in Mexico. It's extremely easy to target in Mexico now. If you have some kind of advice, I don't you that you are in a war zone, because in Culiacan, what has been happening for 7 months, this war, it is a war zone. If you had some kind of advice for these independent journalists,
Yeah, I kind of felt that way too. It could be. I'll put up a poll. Are these pizza swattings Chapitos or trolls? Or China? I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there. Let's get it. Shout out Young Jizzle, Mexican Mike on the check-in. Albert Flores says the pizza is completely unrelated, but these pizza deliveries can be coincidental. They're going to a targeted group of people, that's for sure. They're reaching, in my humble opinion. Definitely reaching. The journalists are targeted, but not by chapitos. Definitely an agency on the inside of the U.S., in my opinion. Sounds like some kind of op, right? Some kind of psyop, harassment. The equivalent of, what do they do in the middle of these warfare where they just play loud music outside of somebody's house for hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, and some kind of psyop.
that they have suffered these kind of consequences, would you tell them?
First of all, get out of there. If you think your life is
And what has been happening for 7 months, this war, it is a war zone. If you had some kind of advice for these independent journalists that they have suffered these kind of consequences, would you tell them?
First of all, get out of there. If you think your life is at risk, you need to move on. I mean, not to stop writing, not to stop reporting, but you need to move, not be located that easily. I mean, they have found you somehow, so you need to move. You need to ask for help, maybe from I don't know if the government will be able to help, but ask for help for
Everybody laughs at that shit. It's laughable.
others colleagues, maybe, I don't know, but the rule number one is to get out of there, because if you stay, you're putting your life at risk. Number two, always be uh, uh, locable. I don't know the word. Easy to locate with the people that surrounds you,
That
the
was close, bro. Locatable. Very close.
people who cares about you. If you have a colleague, always text them, send your location to these people. And number three, you gotta be brave. I don't know. It's very dangerous once you feel target. I strongly advise to get out of there, not stop reporting, but get out of there.
Do you think that these journalists that they're receiving the pizzas, they're targeted in one specific way?
I, I insist. I couldn't um, say that. I mean, it's kind of a blurry the message because of if Los Chapitos are sending that message.
Listen, the homie Zaya, they sent him. They swatted him, sent him pizzas, sent swats, all kind of shit. There's videos of it on his Patreon. Um, It's a common troll tactic on the internet, and um, it seems no different. It's just targeted right now. So it's like the gaming online trolls have influenced, um, you know, operations in the United States. And you're telling me they didn't investigate this coincidence? Remember the Epstein judge and her son that got unalived by a UPS uniform guy? I don't remember that. That happened? I don't remember that. I must have missed that. The fuck do the Capitals have to do with U.S. politics? These guys are reaching. I was just gonna ask that question. What are these guys reporting on? Like all of these people, what are they reporting on? Are they reporting on what um, all the all the journalists that Jay's out there doing shit with? Are they getting or is this just like you said, guys talking about U.S. politics?
Why those people, or if Los Mayos are sending that message, why those people? I mean, what I do think it's that's a way to censor, to try to shut them down,
Of course.
or something like that may make him harsh. I don't know, but it's definitely a threat.
Definitely a threat. Now, this is it. A journalist was assassinated in the United States. I don't. This is nothing new for us. Mexico is number 3 in the world for assassinations towards journalists. Americans and independent journalists, they're thinking that they're not that easy to target and they're not easy to get. And now, do you think that it's more unsafe for them because of the enormous presence in the United States?
Yeah, once you became independent or freelancer, it's easier to get hurt, by any mean, and not only from the organized crime, but other criminal groups, smaller criminal groups. Uh, let's think about that. There, when we start this chat, I was talking you about these several groups of um, people that work with the criminal, organized criminals. So this bunch of groups are named La Chapitza. So maybe it's one group, or maybe it's a lot of them. We don't know. What do we know? It's they're extremely violent, not only Chapitos, but also Los Mayos. This is a war, and if the war is over there too, that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, you know, I truly believe that there's something going on. I don't want to signalize and assure. That's my perception that something is going on because
Yeah.
that's that something's going on. Something fishy is going on into that particular area and to these journalists. I wanted to add something for everybody to understand what what our country is going through right now in this specific war, Aaron, and what you have gone through in your city of Culiacan. What do you think that is, uh, you know, almost, if it wasn't for this administration that is right now, what do you think that it would have happened? Because the trauma, the psychological trauma that the children are suffering in your schools, and the anxiety that the Culiacan and people are suffering, because there's a lot of anxiety that this doesn't end. 7 months.
Yeah.
Do you think that this would have been,
Them people been under that pressure for more than the 7 months. For a long time, the people of Culiacan been under that pressure.
it would have already crossed to the United States if something was not, would have been stopped like that?
I don't know. It's very hard to tell that. I mean, it's not an issue of one single administration. We're talking about uh, years and years, decades of corruption, of people pointing his side to other sides. I mean, it's like a structural problem,
Hmm.
not just because President Trump and President Sheinbaum are managing to try to uh, watch the borders. I don't know. What I do know is that this problem is getting bigger and bigger, because of decades of corruption from both countries.
Now, we talked about something when I was over there in Culiacan, and we agreed on something. They moved the Kimpings and the drug lords like it was a chess piece, and they put
Yeah,
somebody back. But the ones that they are in charge, they never are extradited and never put, where it's supposed to
that's
be. Can you explain that a little bit?
yeah, that's not my point. I mean, a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, 29 kingpins of both cartels, even Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, several groups of organized crime were sent to the United States. 29 people, some of them just apprehended, just arrested. So the war keeps going, and I mean, this morning, one policeman was murdered by 1,000 gunshots. I mean, a
Wow.
thousand gunshots at his car and a police
Wow.
station at the south of the city, Los
Where's that
Huizaches.
story? I
We
gotta see
drove
hear
over
that. We
there.
ain't hear about that
So
because nobody care about one policeman taking 1,000 shots. That make it a little different of a story right there. Um, and his argument is that it didn't work. He said they extradited 29 people, some that were arrested recently, some that were stored away. You know what I'm saying? Um, and the war continues.
when you were back in,
Albert said these guys are. It's infuriating. Like I don't even think they know what's going on in Mexico. Then to connect it is ridiculous. I don't think this Aaron guy is there to connect it. You know, this guy Oscar, he brought him there to ask him and to pose the question to him, and he gave an answer. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But Buddy's on the ground in Culiacan. Isn't InfoWars a conspiracy type of thing? Indeed. Yes or no, conspiracy theories become conspiracy facts. That they do. Those that are proven to be true, yes. At one point in time, I looked into a lot of these wild theories and I started noticing a lot of weird stuff around me. Too many coincidences, so I stopped. And no lie, I was kind of shook. Remember Clinton's list? Yeah. Sometimes we get in our own shit. Mexico as a whole has been under that anxiety since '08. Facts. Got a giant salute to you, Albert. I'm going.
here, Culiacan, we drove over there. So that happened early this morning. So it keeps happening. They keep putting in jail these kingpins, these big fishes, but politicians still living happily and heavily. I mean, they they still getting his paycheck.
Mm.
They go to the Congress. They go to the
He's basically telling you who the criminals are, man. He said, yeah, they sending these guys, but the politicians, they still get their check. They still doing their thing.
uh, city hall. I don't know, but they're still there. They're still there working and smiling and getting those selfies because they painted this street or built this little wall. I don't know, but they're corrupt so at the high level that this narco war it's in a huge part because of them because
Mm.
they stop to do what they have to do.
Well, I want to thank you, Aaron, for coming in for a moment. I know that you're busy.
Hey, he said it clear as day. He said it clear as day. He just told you who the criminal is, or who's in cahoots.
And I know you got a lot of things to do. And we
Which is a touristic place in
Let me see what
7
it
months,
seven
man.
months,
This war has affected and how this war keeps going on for 7 months. 7 months,
7
man.
months.
It's just bad.
Well, we are quickly approaching to the 8th month.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel exhausted.
Are you,
I
you're
mean,
tired.
yeah, I'm very tired. I mean, by writing every day about this violence. I mean, a week ago, a quick story. A week ago, in Mazatlan, which is a touristic place in Sinaloa, at the south from Culiacan, It's the second biggest city from Sinaloa. There's the sea. It's a beautiful place. Well, three boys, three youngsters from Querétaro, get there to have a birthday party from one of these people. They are disappeared. His family don't know where are they. They just vanished. I mean, more than 1,600 people last year were disappeared. You want to know how many the district attorney have solved from that disappearance? Zero. 100% of impunity.
It's a complete disaster. But we have a president that says that the
This sounds like a journalist that actually gives a shit. This guy right here.
abductions and the missing people are not forced. That's what she says.
But that because when you get disappeared, they ask you gently with the gun in his hand. I mean, hey Oscar, I'm an armed people. I got this AK-47. Can you please come
Can
with
you
me
please
to
step into the car?
say please let's go disappear you
Yeah,
gently
let's go
disappear
disappear.
you.
You know,
Come
I
on.
want to say something, Aaron, because a lot of people don't know how bad it is. And you told me something that nobody has ever told me before. The way that the Culiacan people think, the Culiacan people prefer themselves to die and to be found than to die and to be disappeared.
Yeah, I mean that's the extreme fear. I mean,
Wow.
your life doesn't end with your last breath. I mean, when your heart stops, when your vital signs just stop working. Uh, they say they stops when nobody can name your name again. So let's imagine that I got disappeared, but my family doesn't have a body to bury. So they keep naming my name with the hope one day they can find me. I mean, that's terrible.
It's there's a viral video of this man that is asking somebody just un huesito nada más decía no más, just a little
See,
bone, give me a little bone
see,
fraction, that's the only thing that I want. That's
something
how
like
bad
that.
it is. So I just want to I want to invite later on Aaron so he can explain to us the war situation. I wanted to invite him to talk about this situation which is happening to the journalist because he's a journalist and he works in the middle parts in this war. It is
Well, actually, I was talking about Aaron Shannon. I'm gonna keep looking into Oscar, but Aaron on the boots on, as far as boots on the ground over there, that sounds like he's on the ass of the he's on the ass of the politicians. Sounds about right. Hold on, man, what's happening here? Give me a second.
Jonathan Pantria sent $2 salutes Chi Il my dude, Il Cartel members, and chat. I hope you have a blessed and grateful Taco Tuesday. Please like and subscribe to the great quality content on your way and it's free. Sick and tired of the violence and unfortunate oppression.
Shout out JP for the $2 power chat. Let me see. I'm trying to see what happened to the music here. There's no music here. Give me a second. Let's see something. Oh, music's there. What's the problem? Let's see. That's strange. Power chat be twaking.
Jonathan Pantria sent $2 salutes Chi Il my dude, Il Cartel members, and chat. I hope you have a blessed and grateful Taco Tuesday. Please like and subscribe to the great quality content on your way and it's free. Sick and tired of the violence and unfortunate oppression.
Shout out JP for the $2 power chat. Salute Shy Il, my dude, Cartel members and chat, hope you have a blessed and grateful Taco Tuesday. Please like and subscribe to the great quality content on your way in. It's free, don't cost you a thing. Sick and tired of the violence and unfortunate oppression. It exists, papas. It exists. No, oh shit, hold on. It's WrestleMania week. You right. And this was for you too, though. Let's see. Child JP says, salute Shael, my dude, El Cartel members in chat. Hope you have a blessed and grateful Taco Tuesday. Please like and subscribe to the great quality content. It is free. No Undertaker or Stone Cold during the Holy Week and WrestleMania. Whopper Wednesday. What the hell is that? That's a new one. What the fuck? That's for lunch? Yeah, I gotta see what's going on with the music over here. I don't even know what happened. Let me hit this test and see something. No, nothing. And it's running slow? Nah, they tweaking. Yeah, this shit didn't go. Oh, you know what? I gotta go. I'm gonna put on a Bulls hat for that segment. I have to. What the fuck is going on here? I have to do it. Yeah, this thing is tweaking. Tweaking. All right.
It's not easy, people. Let me just tell you, it is not easy what Aaron is doing. So I want to give you guys, I want to give the time to Aaron to explain to you guys where can you follow him, and also if you want to contribute to his work, where can they follow you? And also he writes for one of the biggest journals in our country. So he's not your average typical journalist. When he writes, he writes. So Aaron, if you want to just explain to my audience where can they follow you?
Yeah, you can find.
Oh, you're going to see, JP, if you stay tuned, you're going to see what he's saying. Fernando, don't tell him. Don't tell him. JP, you thought you was pissed off? You thought there was injustice in the world? Stick around. Stick around.
Find me in X, Twitter later. By Aaron Tweet. It's AARONTUIT. Aaron Tweet. You can find me also at my website, which is aaronibarra.com.
We're going to start checking him out.
AARON. Ibarra is IPARRA.com. You can find me there and find some stuff that I daily work.
We're gonna start. He ain't sound to me expletive, right? The way we talked about with the whole Mika Trevino thing. So I'm interested, and he's out there. He's there.
Within this war, you can find me also at Proceso, where I try to write every day, but it's not always that easy. But you can find my work there about people disappearing, murders within this war.
Oh no, this one might send you over there. It's JP, so then you might want to tap out. All right, your beloved Bulls. Salutes. We're gonna get there though.
And also these government acts of corruptions.
Well, thank you so much, Aaron. Muchas gracias, Aaron. Después a ver si hacemos otro video más explicativo de muchas cosas.
Sí, van a tener que disculpar mi inglés. You're gonna have to excuse
Nah, salutes to you, man. You try, you do it. That's the only way you learn how to do shit is by doing it. And he's speaking that English, out loud to the people. Salutes to him, man.
Lousy English.
No, it's good. It's good. It's really good. It's really good. Thank you so much, Aaron.
See ya.
There you have it. Aaron Ibarra. He is a journalist from
Salutes to Aaron, but we gotta get to the gusto.
To people more, a little step by step.
He want to give you our context.
So why do I put these pieces of the puzzle together, and why do I believe that it has possibly a relation? Why do I believe this? So I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I put everything in perspective, because now the cartel has jumped the border and they're fully operating on the other side of the wall. So this is my perspective. This is from my optic, right? So the Chapo Guzman, the Kingpin, has Los Chapitos, and Los Chapitos, they created this little group that is called Chapitza, that is as he said, is an umbrella of different types of groups, and it's a plural. Chapitza is talking about, romanticizing the little term chapitos. And the last term, CHA, pizza, it is a slice of pizza. So los chapitos, they have been leaving the trail of their crimes, and it's a slice of pizza. And also the opposition, which they are going at war, is los mayos, and they're been using the slices over to use as a slice of pizza to say, this was them. So right now, it sounds kind of fishy what is happening to these kind of broadcasters, these kind of influencers, these kind of people that they are in the United States receiving pizzas with the name of a journalist that it was targeted. And
I mean, that pizza shit been happening before this war. That pizza been happening before they called them the Chapizzas. That shit's been happening, man. So I too think I feel like it's a reach. He's doing what he saw a connection, he made it happen. I do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a journalist. He's a journalist, so.
And it possibly, it sounded like he was targeted, but he was assassinated, and he worked for InfoWars. Now, I've said this before when it happened. I called on
So
the
he's talking about the InfoWars reporter that got smoked.
Influencers, these kind of people that they are in the United States receiving pizzas with the name of a journalist that it was targeted, and it possibly, it sounded like he was targeted, but he was assassinated, and he worked for InfoWars. Now, I've said this before when it happened. I called on the all independent journalists in the United States and say, watch out. You have a lot of presence of these people inside of your country. You're safe, but you're not that safe anymore. These people have the ability and have the audacity to go over there and try to threaten you. And like Aron said, it's kind of like a method or a idea of censorship to keep you quiet, which it makes you understand that it has a correlation or some kind of a, significance that the cartel of Mexico uses a slice of pizza to send a message. And right now, journalists in the United States are receiving pizzas as a message of stay quiet, don't talk, sending a message from, a journalist that passed away and was assassinated or was targeted. His name is Jamie White. God rest his soul. So we don't know about that. But from my perspective, from my optic,
I briefly looked into the Jamie White thing. They said they don't know if somebody targeted him or if he just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, no, he was on it. We saw a clip of Alex Jones earlier.
I try to correlate a little bit of this and explain to the American people how the cartel operates with symbolism and how they operate with these kind of
yeah, Papas, but if I would have never saw that happen to anybody else, it would probably feel that way to me. But pizzas and swatting go hand in hand with internet trolling. Just it's something that happens. If it's been elevated to a point where it's ending up at the house of journalists and shit like that, well, somebody's just taking a tactic that kids made popular, and boom.
Situations. So every single cartel leaves a trail or sends a message a different way. It comes exactly like what they have done with, decapitation people, leaving a head, or and on the bottom of the head they will leave a banner with a message to the opposition or to the people that they want to send it to. Dismember bodies in certain particular ways, burned bodies, just today.
And here's the thing: if this is, because to me this feels like just good old American internet trolling, right? And let's not give nobody no fucking ideas. I mean,
today they were found 2 burned bodies on the east side of the city of Tijuana. Outside of a school, they left these two burned bodies. So it tells you the level of insecurity and the level of violence that we're living. It's a war, and a lot of people don't see it.
Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Was it the trolls with the Chapitos, or was it China? All right. I should have put the CIA on that
like
list.
that. And it kind of like it trickled and it jumped into the United States of America, but it's a friendly war, as I can
Don't
say.
get it fucked up. There's guys from the other side that are on this side of the wall operating. That is just a fact. Do I think that they're sending pizzas to SWATs? No.
In comparison to Mexico, it's a friendly war. It's friendly. Why? Because it hasn't jumped into a point that it's this violent as it is in Mexico right now, right? So, but what I'm trying to explain is put attention to these symbolism and to these kind of signatures. To Alex Jones, I don't know, I don't think that you're listening to me, but if you are listening to me, put attention to this. This is not your average typical, sign.
Yes, it is. It's happened. I know people it's happened to. So if the ratio is that much that I know someone, more than one person probably that it's happened to, and then the ones that I've seen that I don't know, we could pull up a compilation. If that didn't exist, maybe. But this is a common internet troll situation.
Your average typical, mode operandi from somebody trying to use a pizza just to bother you, just to harass you.
Yes,
Possibly it can correlate.
No, papas. It's very easy. And it happens all the time. It's been happening for years. As long as there's been live streaming, it's been happening. Right? As long as there's been live streaming, it's been happening. There's a horror movie in there somewhere. I just got to write it.
To an organized crime. I don't want to blame the organized crime for that. I don't want to, target one specific cartel because it brings a lot of problems. But I'm just saying it's a symbolism, of a criminal in a targeted activity. And you need to understand how aggravated this problem is. Now, another thing that I want to say to everybody. In Mexico, a lot of journalists have been shut down, and a lot of journalists have been targeted, and a lot of journalists have been threatened. And this is not a lie. This is a reality.
No, we saw it. We covered it.
Violence and insecurity that we live. It is completely different than what American journalists are living. But now it is slowly moving into that direction. Why am I saying this? Because now there's a journalist that was targeted. His name is Jamie White, and he passed away. Now you're seeing houses continuously being swatted. And that, I will tell you, how easy it is to just go in there and just take away, remove the problem. And it is so easy to do that. I have said so many times before, and I will say it again. The organized crime and the cartel has grown under the Biden administration, has grown 2 times stronger on technology, on artillery, on territory, and financially and in infrastructure also. When people ask me, why you say technology, Oscar? You say technology because of weapons. I don't refer that only of weapons. I refer as how they are monitoring social media.
Yeah, they're using social media. All right, we straight on the rest of that. Salutes to Oscar. All right, I'm going to drop the link to this entire video. Y'all can catch that on your own later after y'all done watching all my shit. Salutes. Shout out JP. Been looking at pizzas and cutting down ever since I saw that dome in a box. Damn, that's the weight loss program is the gore section. Whatever works, bro. But stay your ass out of there, man. Pizza's good, man. Don't hate on pizza just because of the Chapitos. Shout out Zoraida on the check-in. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Late but made it. Always on time. No worries. Shout out Young Jizzle. You made it live. Missed you. Apparently, I've reached a new level of sick and tired today. Oh, you're gonna be sick and tired in a bit. Again, let's check out the poll. Make sure y'all got y'all votes in. All right. So far, trolls by a landslide. All right. 62% say it's trolls and not the Chapitos or China. Right? Technology has also gotten significantly better, and social media has become more prevalent. Indeed. I'll play his little.
And I will tell you, I just posted a video on X about how they are using influencers. Just today, another influencer blogger got assassinated from this particular group that it was targeted because they were aligned with a specific criminal organization.
Yeah, everybody who's aligned, you're in the game. They coming for your ass. Right? You aligned. You picked a side. Shit. I don't pick a side.
And these influencers.
And none of this shit. Because there's no side that's worthy of my vote. In any of it. The cartel shit, the politics. None of it. All right, about to end this poll. There it is. 62% say it's trolls. I agree. If it was something that had never happened before, then it's cool. You know? I'm a burgers guy kind of myself, but the perfect day for it, man. JP says Whopper Wednesday out this motherfucker. All right, that's my my gut feeling is this is trolls. If it was something that I had never seen before, then maybe it would have changed my mind. But otherwise, he's acting like this is new. A lot of conservatives far BS has also gotten people unalived. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a bit of a reach. I wanted to check out the let's see how long this is. Let's quickly check out the Jamie White story. All right, let's see if that has any bearing on what we're talking about right here. Police released more details on the unaliving of InfoWars reporter Jamie White as search for suspects continues. March 11, 2025. The investigation into the unaliving of InfoWars reporter Jamie White continued Tuesday, and the Austin Police Department announced the victim likely terminated during a burglary. The APD responded to a call about a shooting in South Austin at around 11:56 p.m. Saturday night and found White, 36, lying on the ground in the parking lot with apparent trauma to his body. White was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced deceased at 12:19 a.m. on March 10, 2025. Homicide detectives and crime scene specialists respond to process the scene and interview witnesses. A burglary. Isn't a burglary inside? Isn't a robbery outside? And burglary could be inside too. But he was outside lying on the ground in the parking lot. Somebody waited on him. White, I got that. The initial investigation shows that White was shot and unalived in the parking lot at the apartment complex in which he lived. The suspects then fled the scene, police added. Detectives believe the suspects were possibly burglarizing White's vehicle. Okay, that makes sense. When he interrupted them. Well, there you have it. There you have it. He jumped in the mix. According to Fox 7 Austin, there were 57 crimes reported at White's apartment complex in 2024, including vehicle thefts, aggravated assaults, and at least one burglary. Yeka Aaron, a friend of White, told Fox 7 the journalist stayed at work late before he was unalived. Literally, right when he got home, all that happened, Aaron said. It's crazy that he's gone just like that. I keep going back and forth between feelings of anger and sadness. Aaron also said that White liked to stand for truths, as do I, and he spoke up for what he believed in, as do I. His work was his life, she said. He loved going to work. He never slacked off at work. His articles were very well written. That was what he was meant to do, was to write articles. I really don't think he was targeted because of where he worked. I think he was just targeted because he was right there in the right place at the wrong time. In a statement, InfoWars blamed White's termination on the policies of the Soros Austin, Texas DA Jose Garza. I mean, the conspiracy theorists or InfoWars are just as bad as the Trumpsters, just as bad as the Biden-sters, and It's all the same circle jerk. Same as the Maizas and the Chapizas with their jerseys on. Same old shit, man. Right? Same old shit. Everybody's identity has become their politics. We pledge that Jamie's tragic unaliving will not be in vain, and those responsible for this senseless violence will be brought to justice, the statement said. Jamie's important work will be carried on through InfoWars, our readers, and our cherished listeners. The APD is asking anyone with information related to the case to call them. All right. So that don't sound targeted either. If you put that together, that's another reach. The fact that they put his name on the receipt, that's just another troll. Sounds like classic trolling to me, so I consider it debunked. Nothing to see here, people. Nothing to see here. All right? It is what it is. All right, what else we going to cover? All right, we're going to get into it. We're going to piss JP off real quick before we piss off JP real quick. I got to refresh my drink. Boom.
You guys know how I think he's doing, but Democrats and
Democrats. So JP Shy got tired of saying Hump Day Wednesday. Everything else has something that starts with the actual letter of the day. So Whopper Wednesday works, especially with the current deal. What's up? They brought 99-cent Whoppers back. What you talking about? The 90s we had 99-cent Whoppers. What? Drunken mess in the drive-thru. Going down. What was it? Was it on Diversity or I think it was on Diversity. Dems really went to bat for MS-13. So remember, the new take on the mistake that Trompito's administration made. You know, had a bit of a conversation, not long. You know, again, the same friend I told you that he'd be on Facebook disparaging Pac. And again, I didn't want to have a long text conversation with him there. But he had his ideas on this. And again, my thought is this. If it was a mistake, then it's a mistake. Everything else doesn't matter. And the fact that they're saying it was a mistake and then they're saying, but don't, they could get it all the way wrong. People are holding on and giving them a little benefit of the doubt here, They can go all the way wrong. Nobody's going to care as long as he says, we don't want him back. Leave him there. You know what I mean? Oh, he said, hell no, you bugging with these tariffs. No 99-cent Whopper with the tariffs. I was voting, being a smart ass. Huh? Yeah, tariffs, no 99-cent Whopper. So now the new excuse, instead of it just being a mistake, was the mistake was that he wasn't Tren de Agua, he was MS-13. Like, oh, okay. They'll tell y'all anything, man. And the fact that they're willing to do that tells me that they could put a 5-year-old in that prison and they can reason it away in front of the American people. To the point of saying, never happened. To the point of saying, never happened. We don't know what you're talking about. You're in an uproar over nothing. All right? I'm going to refresh my drink. Let's get it.
Spanish class is in session.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say, let's make America great again in Spanish. So, vamos a hacer América.
No mames, wait.
Grande. Let's make America.
Spanish class is in session.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say, let's make America great again in Spanish. So, vamos a hacer América.
My bad. I was just saying, damn, fuck, that was it was a perfect segue and died. Perfect gag.
Spanish class is in session.
Mr. President, I'd like to teach you how to say, let's make America great again in Spanish. So,
like this. No mames, wait. That's how you say it.
Vamos a hacer América grande otra vez.
America grande otra vez.
Excelente.
Sources tell Prime.
Otra vez. Mamabicho.
Time Trump's learning how to say you're deported in Spanish.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Too. Sources tell Primetime Trump's learning how to say you're deported in Spanish too. Estás deportado. And Democrats are saying no
Bro,
más.
that's crazy. That's why I don't watch none of this shit. I feel sorry for y'all that watch this shit. It's a circus. It's a clown show. These guys are dorks. This is not journalism. These networks are simply propaganda machines. And everybody just spends their life listening to these blowhards talk shit. Let's get it.
The constitutional crisis is here. In that meeting in the White House, Donald Trump essentially told the Supreme Court to pound sand. Because far from what he says is what he doesn't say. And that is nowhere in that entire meeting does the President of the United States ask the President of El Salvador to return the man wrongly sent to a maximum security prison in his country. It just never happens. The President has taken a very determined step towards dictatorship.
Does it feel like a constitutional crisis? Then a illegal alien gangbanger from El Salvador is back in El Salvador. After all the times they've declared constitutional crisis, this one's got to be the weirdest. If deporting gangbangers makes you a dictator, then I'm all in. They're now saying we shouldn't arrest gangbangers.
Some of these motherfuckers are so stupid.
The people who... This one's got to be the weirdest. If deporting gangbangers makes you a dictator, then I'm all in.
you're a dictator. What are you talking about?
They're now saying we shouldn't arrest gangbangers. The people who deport gangbangers, they should be arrested.
Why is everybody putting up with ads like it's 2010? Like, it's 2025, guys. Just use Pi. This Chrome extension takes...
Kristi Noem, the head...
All in. They're now saying we shouldn't arrest gangbangers. The people who deport gangbangers, they should be arrested.
Kristi Noem, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, and Tom Homan, the head of ICE, must be arrested immediately for contempt of court. They're defying court orders to return Mr. Abrego Garcia from captivity and torture in El Salvador. It is time to teach the Trump administration a lesson.
Was Keith in a straitjacket? That was hard to say. Democrats charged Trump with 91 counts. He beat the rap, got elected, and deported an illegal to where he was born. Something almost all Americans want. But Democrats... and
that's what the homie brought up to me yesterday. He said, yeah, but that's the El Salvador, putting them in prison. Trump is just deporting them. People keep telling me that. So then what the fuck is the $6 million he's paying to them, right, to take in deported prisoners? People love to have these arguments and argue like they're so fucking right, but then there's parts missing. You can't have missing parts. What's the $6 million about then? If he's just deporting, if he's simply deporting these guys to El Salvador, and El Salvador's throwing them in prison, what's the $6 million for? Nobody wants to answer. That's why with the homie yesterday, he gave me his reasons and his excuse, and I was like, yeah, but what about the $6 million? He said, oh, if it was a natural-born American citizen, I could understand. What about the $6 million?
this is why they lost, want to charge Trump with another crime, kidnapping.
I think the attorney generals play a really important role right now. I think it's only a matter of time before one of them figures out how to file state kidnapping charges against those that are abducting people who are in this country legally and sending them to this new concentration camp that Donald Trump laughs about having created in El Salvador. Attorney generals are going to play a critically important role in these days ahead, fighting
for the prisoners that they got there that all MS3 set up. Cool, right? But the people that you send in from here that we don't know if they're criminals, gang members, or not, that's concentration camp for them.
This fascist moment in American history.
Just as Democrats can turn a man into a woman, they can turn deporting into kidnapping, just like that. And Senator Van Halen from Maryland is flying to El Salvador tomorrow to break the gangbanger out of jail.
So you've got a Maryland man who's the father of 3, illegally detained in a notorious prison in El Salvador. I do intend to go to El Salvador to discuss the release of this individual who is illegally
Fuck you doing at NASA? Ain't this the NASA shit over?
detained in El Salvador. It is absolutely unjust and illegal to have this Marylander detained one more day in a notorious prison in El Salvador.
He's a Marylander? Since when? If I break into Mexico, am I a Mexicano? No.
No, you're a Mama Bicho.
Maryland mom, Rachel Morin, was raped and murdered by an MS-13 member from El Salvador. And Senator Van Halen is trying to spring a member from the same gang out of prison. Trump's getting gangbangers out of Maryland, and Maryland politicians are trying to fly him back in. And late-night hosts are now calling illegals Americans.
One of the inmates currently in that prison is a Maryland man legally working here in the United States, married to an American citizen with American children. His name is Kilmar Albrego Garcia, and he was kidnapped by ICE and rendered to the torture prison because what Trump's own lawyers have admitted was an administrative error.
An administrative error. And you know what they're calling that administrative error? He wasn't trying to rival. He was MS-13. It's huge. Huge error. AKA, fuck you, judge.
Trump's folks
Hit the like button if you have yet to do so.
Are trying to whoop ICE and rendered to the torture prison because what Trump's own lawyers have admitted was an administrative error. Trump's folks are trying to whoops-a-daisy a human rights violation. Yeah. It's like when Hitler came out with, "Mein bad."
Democrats are really going to bat for MS-13. First Tesla terrorists, then China, then Syrian immigrants who hate Jews, and now MS-13. Now, if you're MS-13, you're just trying to live the American dream.
We've been following the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, undocumented migrant from El Salvador, married an American woman, has a kid, living the American dream. Until the Trump administration sent him to an El Salvadorian mega prison.
Well, what is the American dream? Kilmore breaks into the country, gets pulled over all the time, skips every hearing, associates with high-ranking...
I wonder if these kind of guys know that they're soulless. You know what I'm saying? I know they soulless. Do they know that they soulless? Like, what does he do when he go home, man? What's his normal? What, he paying for it and tooting blows and shit? Huh? Hey, JP, don't fucking bury the lead, bro. Stay tuned. We're almost there. We're seconds away, bro. He wilding right now. What the fuck? They implying the Higgs wear Bulls fitted caps, they gangbangers? I dare you to put on a motherfucking Bulls cap right now that send your ass to Seaside. Stop playing. Don't play no fucking games. At this point, I feel like I could detect, smell, see, and feel a troll from a mile away. So I just saw the option and voted trolls. JP, you a troll expert in the last year. He's pushing hard to throw American citizens in there. Oh, wait till that shit happens. They're gonna lose some. Don't let it be you. Don't root for your favorite team. The problem is that the government and what is that? Department of Justice control the optics, just like the police with police shootings. There was a 6-month delay that let law control the narrative and tear down the victim's character. Court of public opinion. What platform does Mr. Garcia have? Dude is getting trucked. So Trump is less powerful than Bukele? Y'all know if people thought that Donald would demand him back, it's obvious, ain't it? Y'all think he went in there without a tie because he thinks Trump is above him? And you'll say, Shy, it's just a tie. I don't see him often. Does this guy often wear ties? What's his face? Bukele? If I find one picture of him with a tie, I'm going to say that was a power play. Okay, he don't wear the tie with the collar shirt. I see that. He's not a tie guy. Okay. Let me see. I'll take my theory back unless I see him in one tie. This motherfucker ain't worn a tie in his entire life. He's like, I'm the boss. I don't have to wear shit. Cause my thing is that's a power play. Oh, look how he shit on dude about the suit. Watch this, no tie, but this guy don't wear a tie. But do I think that he thinks he's more? He definitely thinks he's more powerful than Trump. That's my thought. Now he didn't swing it in there as far as no tie, because evidently he don't wear ties, which is fucking crazy. Let me see. And did I get up off the video? No. That's for the Venezuelan migrants that Maduro won't take back. The 6 million? Why would Trump fit the bill for that? As far as I know, Trump has more felonies than Mr. Garcia. That sounds correct. Colbert said, no lie, what the fuck is he talking about? Are they implying that if Higgins wear fitted caps? Yes. Humble Park in the building. Greetings and salutations. Shaw Indian, salutes to you, sir. Appreciate you. Man, if that guy comes back and can show he is not an MS member, he can sue for defamation. This guy might hit the lottery. This guy might end up in a parking lot like that other fucking journalist we was just talking about. Shout out Sick on the check-in. Appreciate you. But yeah. Oh, Donald J. Trump. Bet. Yeah, I mean, he got a case if he could survive everything. I don't know that he's alive right now. If he wasn't Tren de Aragua and he wasn't MS-13, I'm not sure he's alive right now. None of us have seen him. No tie. I make my own fucking rules. He don't wear a tie. He's the rule. Yeah, he's the rule guy. Shout out Ed the Hip Hop Guru tapping in. 17th like, 18th like. There you go. Salutes. All right. Here we go, JP. This was for you. You about to sound off on this shit.
Gangsters, gets his whole arm tatted up, gets an American woman pregnant, doesn't propose, only marries her after he gets arrested because his lawyers say it would look better to have roots in the community. A judge holds him and says he's a flight risk and a danger to the community. And a confidential informant tells the cops, the gang unit, that he's MS-13. And then a second judge upholds that he's MS-13. But CNN says he's just a Bulls fan.
According to
Wait. The judge said so how y'all didn't know he was MS-13? How you thought he was Tren if even a judge said it? Where's all of the proof for that? I need to see that.
Danger to the community. And a confidential informant tells the cops, the gang unit, that he's MS-13. And then a second judge upholds that he's MS-13. But CNN says he's just a Bulls fan.
According to court documents, Garcia and 3 other men were arrested in 2019. He was asked if he was a gang member. He said no. Garcia had been deemed a gang member by the Prince George's County Police Department in part because he was at the time wearing a Chicago Bulls hat and a hoodie.
Garcia's a Bulls fan?
Fucking dork.
But he's from El Salvador, and he lives in Maryland, not Chicago. The Bulls lost 60 games in 2019, so why the hat?
Kim Jong-il, you stupid fuck. Kim Jong-il. Is that him? The young one? The goofy one? Huh? Didn't he bring Rodman out there?
Garcia's a Bulls fan, but he's from El Salvador, and he lives in Maryland, not Chicago. The Bulls lost 60 games in 2019, so why the hat? Can Garcia name anyone on the team? Anyone on any Bulls team besides Jordan?
That's all we need, bitch. All we need is Jordan. Fuck you talking about? Hit the like button.
One from El Salvador knows what it means when you wear a Bulls hat. It means you're MS-13. When you're in Compton, you don't accidentally wear red and say, oh, I didn't know red was Bloods. If you're a Latin American illegal alien in Maryland, you don't accidentally wear Chicago Bulls gear and hang around with high-ranking gangsters from MS-13.
This guy's a fucking dork.
This is the reason. If you're a Latin American, wear red, it's your MS-13. When you anyone on any Bulls team,
I gotta change my shit. Hold on.
Can Garcia name anyone on the team? Anyone on any Bulls team besides Jordan? Everyone from El Salvador knows what it means when you wear a Bulls hat. It means you're MS-13. When you're in Compton, you don't accidentally wear red and say, oh, I didn't know red was Bloods. If you're a Latin American illegal alien in Maryland, you don't accidentally wear Chicago Bulls gear and hang around with high-ranking gangsters from MS-13. This is the reason he had to break into the country. Are you ready? A local gang in El Salvador was shaking down his grandma's tortilla shop. And his lawyers say if he gets sent back to El Salvador, he's a dead man. It's a tortilla blood vendetta. Seriously. So who are Garcia's attorneys who managed to get their client a hearing in the Supreme?
It's a tortilla blood vendetta. Fucking dork. Jerk off. My mom is. I wish I could put that motherfucking.
Put him in a fucking bed, you might.
Think there's Bulls fans all over the world. Same as there's Tupac fans. Fuck are we talking about?
In court. Trump's deporting tens of thousands of illegals, and this is the only case that's gone this far. These lawyers must be good. Who are they? Well, they are good. They're the best lawyers dirty money can buy. The firms repped gang members like Aaron Hernandez and Bobby Shmurda. Aaron Hernandez was Bloods. Bobby Shmurda was GS9 out of Brooklyn. The firm also represented members of the Rosenthal Hidalgo family, traffickers in business with the cartels. And these well-paid defense attorneys took the Garcia case. But he's definitely not MS-13. These lawyers are really making him into an innocent Maryland dad in the media, and the media is drinking the Kool-Aid.
He's an illegal immigrant. He was here illegally with deportation orders in 2019. What part of that do you not understand?
I understand the story very well, and I'm going to stop going back and forth with you on this, but I will say, again, he had every right to be in this country. Is there any scenario under which
he did not. He was an illegal immigrant.
We're going to move on this.
No, I will not let you go forward.
Okay.
He was an illegal alien in this country with a deportation order in 2019. He is an El Salvadorian citizen.
How'd the media go from the border secure to MS-13 has every right to be in this country? This is a new low, even for them.
Meet the new standard in sleep. This is Pod 4 Ultra. It's not a bed.
I'm not sure what is so difficult about this for everyone in the media.
I'm not a tie guy. I try to avoid one unless I absolutely have to. Dude said, fuck a tie. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Bulls, win or lose, are a top 5 merchandise selling team in the league since the championship days. Yeah. He might be a wannabe MS. And that's another thing. They said, well, if he want to be, get him out of here. But that's different than being. You know what I'm saying? Because they really wishy-washy with the law until it's on their ass. Then they want specifics. It's like, come on, man. This shit's unfair. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? But, you know, wanting to be and being is two different fucking things, man. That sound like the people that be like, deport the protesters too. But you don't want America then, motherfucker. Because America was built on protest. Or a part of its freedoms is protest. What the fuck are we talking about here? Y'all don't want America. You don't want to, just like they wanted the tariffs, right? Until that stock market crash. Until their pockets started hurting, they was like, but they couldn't say it too loud. Because they didn't want people to watch them back up in the bushes. Trump's attorney defending him did the same shit, so what does that make Trump? They want to have that. Nobody want to have that conversation about either side. I am not gang. I do not gang bang.
Mono con los ojos tapados.
Sorry, you from Chicago, so you good to wear that hat. Man, fuck that. If the fucker from what is it, North Korea could have Dennis Rodman over there, be the biggest Bulls fan, what, it stops there? The Bulls is an icon. The bull hasn't changed. It's the only logo. It's the only logo, I believe. Maybe there's a couple more, just a handful, if that hasn't changed in all these years. This bull. They said the Jordan logo, same thing in there. The Jordan logo. This is all MS-13 shit. Now that they find out that Tren de Aragua don't do the tattoo thing, now if they get somebody that got no tattoos, they're going to be like, oh, he's Tren. They get a guy with tattoos, oh, that looks like a basketball right there. So, throw him in seasides. Fucking weirdo shit. And everybody's gonna be like, yeah, get him out of here. The fuck? Fuck Trump, Vance, the government, the judge, and Fox News. We rock our shit worldwide. Worldwide. Listen, people don't know that and this guy talking stupid. This dork over here. Let me see where we at right here. 813. This Dorcas, this fucking guy right here. He's like, you don't go to Compton and accidentally wear red. Forget the red, forget the blue. Every hat means a different thing out there. Who got a list of that shit? Huh? People go over there and fuck up all the time. Go over there wearing a hat that got something to do with some hood. And it ain't just red and blue over there. It's red and blue, but everybody's their own hood. It's not one gang. Everybody got their own fucking rules. What are we talking about? Does that make Kim Jong-un an MS-13 member? Yes. According to their protocol, yes. Him being a Bulls fan, because he said it. Why is he a Bulls fan? He's from El Salvador. What? Bushy-browed bastard? I don't get it. People just say shit, but this is performance. This is not editorial. This is not his opinion. This is performance. This is performance.
Repped gang members like Aaron Hernandez.
Media to understand about this for. I'm not sure what is so difficult about this for everyone in the media to understand, and it's appalling, truly appalling, that there has been so much time covering this alleged human trafficker and this gang member, MS-13 gang member. It's truly striking.
Okay, show where the proof for all of that? That he's a human trafficker and because he trafficked his own ass across the border? What are we talking about here? And she's like, and I can't believe nobody understands. Always in a panic. She looked like she drowned in a teaspoon of fucking water.
To me.
Democrats just lost in a
it's truly striking to me.
Democrats just lost in a landslide because they let illegal gangbangers into the country, and they're still fighting for illegal gangbangers to come into the country.
I ain't nobody's Democrat, Alf. Y'all remember Alf? That's how I put hair and a schnoz on him. Fucking Alf. Look at them brows. Where's it at? Show me what it is. Kim Jong-un doesn't wear hats and mess up. No, he do something better. He bring the whole Bulls team. So if this guy brought the Bulls team to his party, he'd be in trouble.
He's never coming back.
You don't think this man is coming back?
Of course he's not coming back.
To the country, and they're still fighting for illegal gangbangers to come into the country. Even CNN agrees he's never...
I ain't nobody's Democrat, Alf. That's just a sure thing.
Coming back.
You don't think this man is coming back?
I don't think he's coming back, basically
ever. Garcia's gang lawyers were in court today, begging an Obama judge to make Kristi Noem fly a gangster back to America.
An Obama judge.
The Supreme Court even said these judges are out of line.
Look, they're working within the ambiguity that the Supreme Court justices gave.
Listen, we need to go find us a piece of land and get the fuck out of here. We got to find a piece of land somewhere, figure out some kind of sovereign situation and kick rocks. This ain't it. This ain't for my kids either. First off, this Fox News shit. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just, I don't watch none of this shit. I'm using this for, visual aids, but both sides, it's just performance. This is acting, that's acting. They're just talking bullshit back and forth. It's all horse shit. He's not coming back. Everybody beefing without reason to beef. He's not coming back. Facts.
Them. They did not order the administration to return him to the United States. They said that they need to facilitate this return. They could have said, we order him returned, but they didn't do that. Yes, it does.
And they are playing semantics with this. It's so funny, man, how petty our government has looked for a long time. Right? That's why China's not sweating it. China's like, shut y'all stupid asses up. We see y'all tripping over your own dick over there. Y'all motherfuckers is falling apart. You a snake eating its own ass. You're done. You don't fuck with us? Cool. Birkin bag. $200. Shit's crazy. They say, they said they had to facilitate his return. They didn't say he had to return him. What? Shout out Raymond Jefferson. He an Alf looking motherfucker.
Look a little bit like a semantic game, but they are playing within the bounds of what the Supreme Court ruled. So no, they are not defying this order.
James Carville, a man famous for saying it's the economy, stupid, is telling Democrats, don't talk about the economy. Fight for the rights of illegal aliens.
Sometimes you got to on two fronts, and you can fight on the economic front, but also this is such an egregious trespass of justice that you just can't say, well, if we'll just repair to the higher ground and talk about egg prices and forget about this guy. Well, I'm not for that. I think what's happened here is a really offense against the nation. It's an offense against the Constitution. It's an offense against order. You just can't let this go.
A lot of empty bottles behind Carville there. I'm sure he had nothing
You
to...
son of a bitch. I was waiting for, I knew he was going to say some shit about the bottles. This is it. This is a diss track. That's all this is. This is a diss track. Then the other side, they do a diss track where they got Alf over there and they clowning on Alf over there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Raven. Government don't care unless it's their family. If Alf was gone and in that bottomless pit, they not coming for him either unless he's plugged with them familias. His privilege ain't gonna get him nowhere. His eyebrows ain't gonna do shit for him. Man, what makes y'all think Buddy ain't coming back? Shit. You know how many Mexican niggas get deported and be back on the block next week? Well, here's the difference. They didn't just deport him. They threw him in the most supermax prison in the world you could throw him in. You know? How's he gonna come back? That's the point. If it was about deporting him, then deport him. But I guess El Salvador is the one supposedly that put him in prison. Then why is Trump paying them $6 million, according to all these news outlets, to house these prisoners? It's just a circle jerk of fuckery.
To do with it.
And they want to blame the bull, the young bull right here. Leave the bull alone, man. Back up.
21%. That's the Democrat Party's approval rating right now. 21%. They're defending waste, fraud, and abuse, Chinese slave labor, DEI, transgender, and illegal alien gangbangers. Trump designated MS-13 as a terrorist organization. So technically, Garcia's a terrorist. They'd rather give a terrorist the American dream than you. The American dream isn't possible without safety. El Presidente of...
He's so fucking dramatic. Okay, yeah, he's cooked. He's cooked. He in there, dog. He probably not even in there no more. They probably ate him already. You know what I mean?
Terrorist. They'd rather give a terrorist the American dream than you. The American dream isn't possible without safety. El Presidente of El Salvador says it's not that he's imprisoning thousands, he's actually liberating millions. Trump says sending American bad hombres to El Salvador could help liberate millions of Americans.
He's also built one, but other also prisons, very big ones, and we're using his system because we're getting rid of our criminals from out of the United States that were allowed to come in by Biden.
Could we use it for violent criminals, our own violent criminals?
I call them homegrown criminals.
Yes.
You mean the homegrown,
the homegrowns.
the ones that grew up and something went wrong and they hit people over the head with a baseball bat. We have and push people into subways just before the train gets there, like you see happening sometimes. We are looking into it and we want to do it. I would love to do that.
I'm not sure that's quite legal, but Bondi says we're just going to build...
What do you give a fuck? He don't care. You know what I'm saying? What do you care, Alf? He don't give a shit if it's illegal.
More prisons here, but it drives the left crazy, like flirting with a third term. And it keeps the bad hombres on their toes. This is what Trump means when he says, make America great again, or America grande otra vez.
No mames, pendejo, Alf Mauricio. Vete tú pa'l carajo. Fucking dork. Guy's a dork. They're all dorks, though. Well, you better tell your cousins they better stop gangbanging. These motherfuckers, if they get this shit, they're moving fast. They got 4 years to try to fucking change the rules on everybody. Yeah, get off Benny's nuts. Trying to pin lower class and middle class against migrants. That's all they do. So, it's all a circle jerk. All manipulation. And the only ones that are affected by it are the ones that, you know, well, the ones that that love it, that are in the fucking mix, that just want to be part of the circle jerk. It's like bullshit. And then there's people that don't want nothing to do with it and they suffer for it. I think people forget our president's a felon. Facts. American nightmare. Yep. Shout out JP. Shout out Kalama. What? Kalama in here? What you shouting out Kalama about? Shout out Kalama. Let's see. That's just crazy. But there it is, man. If you're El Salvadorian, or if you're close to El Salvadorian, or if you have an S in your last name, or an O, or a Z, or a Q, or any other letter, they can consider you MS-13 and throw you in the raft, in a bottomless pit. So beware. Some bullshit going on out here. It's crazy talk. Alright, what else we got here quickly? Alright, we got a bunch of premieres happening on a whole bunch of different channels around here. It'll all be concentrated in a Discord. Been making adjustments, making changes. It's a lot. So bear with me. But make sure you sub up to Ill Crimes. We've moved all of our true crime stuff over here. So this channel that I'm posting right here in the live chat. Everything else, Cartel stuff, will be still on this channel. The lives will still be on this channel for the time being. You say 4 years, brother, but I don't know if he might change the rules. And next thing you know, predators can have a third term and felonies. That's what I'm saying. They got 4 years to change all the rules. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so, y'all. America is no longer what it was, quote unquote, or what they told us it was built on. It's never been that, but you know. Yeah, no. Yeah, see, there you go. You too, Macho. Tranquilo. Be careful. Watch yourself. You got a Z in there, bro. That's what it is. Don't worry. I got one too. It be like that. And like Shannon said, or an R, or a S, T, V, W, X, any of them shits. You know what I mean? They're not playing no game. They're on some wild shit right now. But yeah, so we got mad premieres happening. Go check that stuff out, man. Hit the like button. Trying to focus, content in certain spots so that the algorithm kicks in and gives us some love. So please, go and check that out. U.S. transfers 13 rug traffickers. Right? U.S. transfers 13 rug traffickers serving prison time back to Mexico. The U.S. Department of Justice Office, the U.S. Department of Justice's office. Jeez. TK got 80. I haven't been following that trial. That's a long fucking time. Crazy to me how we're messing with people's lives and people want to give them the benefit of the doubt or excuse makes. Until it's one of theirs, nobody cares, dog. So many excuses and reasons. It's like, wait a minute. You're just going to say anything forever. Listen, there's something that Hickson Gracie said, explaining jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And for me, this is how I see politics. This is how I see gangs. This is how I see the cartels. This is how I see anything where you picking a side and you don't even know why. Right? He said jiu-jitsu is you do this, then I do that. Then you do this, then I do that. Then you do this, then I do that. Forever. And that's just what it is. It's a circle. It's a constant. There's no change in that. Nothing comes out of that but the same. Period. You know? That's it. No crime. So there's crazy man. I mess with people's lives. That's what they want me to be. Ed the Hip Hop Guru. That's what me and Ben running around. They want me to, They want to put a label on me. Did you get a chance to check out the 7 Kids? I have not. No, not yet. I had to go put it on to lose. The U.S. Department of Justice Office of International Affairs, with the assistance of the Department's Federal Bureau of Prisons, transferred 13 Mexican nationals serving prison sentences for drug distribution-related convictions in the United States to their home country on Friday. The names of those prisoners transferred back to Mexico hadn't been made public yet, but we will be updating as soon as possible. The inmates requested to be transferred to their home country, and the governments of both the United States and Mexico approved these transfers. Friday's transfers of 13 federal inmates to correctional authorities in Mexico have saved the United States over $3 million by eliminating the need to pay incarceration costs for the 75 years remaining on their combined sentences, said Matthew R. Gagliati, head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. All 13 inmates transferred last Friday were serving sentences relating to the distribution of controlled substances, including Brocaine, Method Man, Fetty Wap. The inmates will complete the remainder of their sentences in Mexico pursuant to the treaty. The Justice Department's International Prisoner Transfer Program, which is administered by the Criminal Division's Office of International Affairs, enhances offender rehabilitation, reduces incarceration costs, and relieves overcrowding in federal prisons. The transfer is pursuant to the treaty between the United States of America and the United Mexican States on the execution of the penal sentences. I don't know, man. Mexico and the U.S. is hugging when it comes to prisoners. See, now this I'm not tripping on. If you already got prisoners in there that all you're going to do is make them serve their sentence, get them out, and then deport them, all right, cool. Send them back. That's different than just plucking people that shouldn't be in the super duper uber max prison and throwing them in there. I mean, you wildin'. The U.S. Congress enacted legislation authorizing the International Prisoner Transfer Program in October 1977, which also set the requirements of the transfer program. The United States signed its first transfer treaty with Mexico in 1976, which entered into force in November 1977, and since that time has entered into 10 additional bilateral transfer agreements and 2 multilateral transfer conventions. These international agreements give the United States transfer treaty relationships with more than 85 countries. Right? So it's a whole lot of movement around, and from what I'm understanding, that this movement that's happening with all these Board of prisoners getting moved here and pulled there, it's affecting people's release dates and timings because manpower is being spent in other places, from what I hear. So, and paperwork and, red tape and bureaucracy and bullshit. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. That's it for that. Where we at? We 2 in. Let me see what this looks like. Sorprendido. April 15th. Fuck it, let's do this. War between Los Chapitos and La Maíza dates back. War between Los Chapitos and La Maíza dates back to the trial of the century and the capture of El Ratón. Ovidio Guzman was extradited to the United States almost 9 months after his arrest outside Culiacán. The latest episode of the HBO documentary Max Culiacanazo, I haven't seen this, I have to see this, Herederos del Narco, shows how the extradition of Ovidio Guzman El Ratón to the United States affected his father, Joaquin Guzman Loera, El Chapo, emotionally. The testimonies of experts, investigative journalists, and people close to the world of drug trafficking who participated in the series suggest that the surrender of El Ratón to the United States and what happened in the so-called trial of the century against El Chapo Guzman are the origin of the conflict between the two factions in the Sinaloa cartel, Los Chapitos and La Maíza. Now, I don't know how independent the journalists that are on this site are, because again, this is Cartel Insider, where we find Mika Trevino, who I believe is co-opted and has picked a side. I don't know if everybody's like that, so I'm gonna keep my eyes open for that in everybody's writing, you know. The testimonies of expert, I did that. Ovidio's extradition caused concern in the Sinaloa Cartel. On September 15th, Ovidio Guzman was extradited to the United States almost 9 months after his arrest outside Culiacan. Regarding his delivery to the country of the Stars and Stripes, then Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador reported that El Ratón didn't issue any amparo, nor did he oppose the process. However, the Max documentary revealed that the Mexican government used a legal loophole to move the process forward by only notifying Ovidio of his extradition but not his defense. As a result, El Ratón's lawyer learned of their client's extradition when he was already in the United States. So they tricked him. This said, former Drug Enforcement Administration agent Mike Vigil caused concern with the Sinaloa Cartel since it was rumored internally that Ovidio Guzman was going to reach an agreement with the U.S. government, a situation that remains to be seen to this day. They dragging that shit out. Is it worth remembering that at a time, tensions between the United States and Mexico began to increase due to feriwap trafficking, most of which was orchestrated by Los Chapitos. So U.S. authorities sold the arrival of Ovidio Guzman to their country as the end of this problem. Wrong. Since El Ratón controlled the entry of precursor chemicals. As for Ovidio Guzman, who will face a hearing in the United States on May 12th, his physical condition has reportedly deteriorated drastically since his extradition from Mexico. The man who was arrested during the Culiacanazo of 2019 with his shirt unbuttoned no longer exists. Background on the Warren Sinaloa cartel. Mike Vigil pointed out that the capture and extradition of Ovidio Guzman affected El Chapo emotionally, because although he had already been sentenced in the United States years ago, his case and that of his son had many similarities. El Ratón is charged with arms and drug trafficking, gun violence, and leading a criminal organization, the same accusation as El Chapo. So Ovidio Guzman's fate may be inside the Supermax prison just like his father. It was mentioned in the documentary. Between November 5th, 2018 and February 12, 2019, the so-called trial of the century was held against Joaquin Guzman Loera, who among others was accused of drug trafficking. During his trial, the U.S. Attorney's Office presented 56 witnesses against the Mexican drug trafficker, while El Chapo was only allowed to present one exculpatory testimony. Among the people who testified against Guzman Loera was Vicente Zambada Niebla, El Vicentillo, and Jesus Reinaldo Zambada, El Rey, son and brother of Ismael El Mayo Zambada, the capo with whom El Chapo founded the Sinaloa Cartel. This fact was described by El Chapo's lawyer in Mexico as a direct betrayal by El Mayo Zambada, who wanted El Chapo to stay in prison to control the entire cartel. This is it right here. This feels side-picked-ish, right? The fact was described by El Chapo's lawyer in Mexico as a direct betrayal by El Mayo Zambada, who wanted El Chapo to stay in prison to control the entire cartel. For this reason, several experts in the field considered the so-called trial of the century to be one of the antecedents to the war between Los Chapitos and La Maíza. Another of the antecedents of the war in the Sinaloa cartel is the one exposed by investigative journalist Anabel Hernandez. Los Chapitos had a grudge against El Mayo Zambada, who they blamed for the capture of his father. In addition to the rumor that El Vicentillo was behind the unaliving of Edgar Guzman. It's just a lot of tension, man, and a lot of bad blood. Bad blood that flowed very slowly between the families. You know what I mean? The shit didn't get hot quick. But it wasn't until the capture of Ovidio Guzman that things began to take a turn for the worse in Sinaloa. The Chapitos, as the main producers of Fetty Wap, sought to monopolize the sale of this chemical rug, including among El Mayo Zambada's people. However, with the arrest of Ovidio Guzman, Los Chapitos changed their strategy and began leaving narco messages in Culiacan, promising to stop making Fetty Wap and threatening people who continued to make it. They began to hold El Mayo's men responsible for international rug trafficking. One cartel hitman claimed that Los Chapitos have always sought to manipulate the public narrative to make it appear that they're innocent. Since then, the tension between Los Chapitos and La Maíza grew until, on Thursday, July 25, 2024, it was reported that Joaquin Guzman Lopez has snatched El Mayo Zambada to hand him over to U.S. authorities in El Paso, Texas. Almost a year earlier, in November 2023, the arrest of Nestor Isidro Perez Salas, El Nini, alleged head of security for Los Chapitos, linked to the two Culiacanazo conflicts, and who was also extradited to the United States, was reported. There you have it. It's probably gone on before that, man. They probably argued over toys, man. They probably couldn't stand each other for a long time. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, their little spat, their little drama, their money issues, their business issues, got a state and a city and a town under siege for 7 going on 8 months already. And then some, for longer than that. Right? Salute to y'all, hunters up in the chat. Bow. Let's get it. Raven said, wait a minute, U.S. taking people from other countries illegally? This sounds familiar. I wonder. They sending them other places illegally too. Snatching them up from and sending them. Shout out Robert. Before work, salute, go get that money. Millions. And Mayo is there such bad health. The government spending so much money on his trial. I don't know how they could ever say, did they need to lay off anybody? I need to make the cuts. Man, here's my question. Does he have a trial date? I don't think so. Because these reports would be saying it. Nah, he had a hearing. He had one in January, but that's it. Nothing yet. No date has been set. No date has been set. Let's see what we got here. We've been here 2 and 4. I think we're gonna get out of here, y'all. We got a premiere happening in a bit. It'll be the edited version of all of the information compiled about and all of the reaction compiled about the rehab facility that had the massacre. I'm gonna try to release during the week every day 2 uploaded videos on Sha'il Reacts on the Il Cartel. That way I could have one like 11 o'clock in the morning and then another one at 8 at night. Make sure y'all check out that 8 at night one as well and try to keep that algorithm going. We're trying to get that algorithm, greased up like a greasy wheel and get it going. You know what I mean? If you're lucky in the USA, you get Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, that's our concentration camp right there. Guantanamo Bay. What else? Make sure you join up on the other channels. I got a hip-hop channel called For Beginners that I'll drop right here. Paste. Sub up over there. I got Ill Films where I do film and TV. That's the hardest one to get content on because it takes so much editing. But people seem to like that channel copy. And then I got the Head Kicks channel for fights and shit. We talk about combat sports. And we got the Ill Crimes channel. All right, make sure you check out our playlist section. Make sure you check out the Ill Shop. I looked up Aaron Ibarra on this journalist app that ranks their writing, whether left or right, and says he's a neutral writer. He seems like it just by the way he was talking and carrying himself, and the way he was keeping the politicians accountable, and that's just off a few words, broken language words. You know what I'm saying? So salutes to him. Shout out Shannon. I watched 3 premieres last night. I appreciate you. Salutes. JP, you got that right. They do what they want to do. That's facts. Aaron Ibarra is widely regarded as an ideological neutral journalist whose reporting is driven by investigative rigor and social concern more than by political bias. Sounds amazing. I'm going to start checking out dude's shit. That's what I want to hear. And again, definitely got premiere in 25 minutes. I don't even know what that one is. That's the rehab story. 25 minutes. But yeah, I'm going to keep the content flowing. Again, I got some memorizing some lines I got to do today. I'll do some filming tomorrow. And I'll see y'all Friday night. But there should be uploads throughout all of that. Talk amongst yourselves in the live chat if I'm not there. Have a good time. And, man, I appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. See if there was anything else that I wanted to take a look at quickly. I'm going to hold off on body cams until I get all of my editing that's backed up, get that done. Again, I like when we stick to the subject and we're on the subject, and people are going to have to wait for their check-in shout-out till after the subject or that specific thing is done, because that makes it easy for me to edit. I just want to be able to go in there and cut a chunk out and boom. I go in there and I reform the whole shit. And that's my fault. That's my OCD, but it is what it is. Yeah, head over and watch the premiere. I will drop the, let me drop the link for the premiere that's coming. Boom, Friday Night Live. Make sure you check out the Granny Got a Gun video. It is crazy. It is slept on. I feel like the algorithm let it die because it was the first time in a long time that I just uploaded a video at 8 o'clock at night. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to drop the shareable link to that. You got to check this story out and get the ball back rolling on this video, because it's a crazy story. And Abuelita, sheesh, she's wilding out. So put that in your queue, right? And then, boom, the premiere that's about to go down is this one right here. Boom. This is the rehab premiere. For those that missed the live stream where we talk about the rehab, this has all the stuff we covered. Boom. All right, got that there. Salutes to everybody. I enjoy these early streams. Again, I think this schedule is going to be better. It's going to be more conducive to getting the edits out and having things constantly getting uploaded. Share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And make sure you check out the Grandma with the Gun story. She's wildin'. Let's see what else I got here. I think that's it, man. Let me run through the chat real quick. Boom. We got some community posts that are going to post. I'm trying to get shit more organized and moving on an automated basis. I'm trying to get 2 weeks ahead of shit. So. Salutes 298 Sosa, Shannon, Eddie Jimenez, my brother Oso, Deb Heiser. Shout out Mike Lopez. Velez, I appreciate you. HG, salutes. Just on time. This was funny. I forgot to get back to this comment right here, HG. Just in time for the super. I came in like a wrecking ball. She added the super. That's pretty dope. That's funny. Shout out to Pooh. SD Mexican Mike, Young Jizzle, Albert Flores. Shout out Lupe. Hit the like. Checked in. Salutes. Shout out JP. Appreciate you. Salutes to you. Thank you for the power chat and your presence. I got to figure out what happened with the music there. Have a good WrestleMania week. Shout out Fernando. Shout out Zoraida. Salutes. Hope she out there getting that million money. Eddie Jimenez, I appreciate you. Shout out Sick. Shout out Macho McFly. Sick. Ed the Hip Hop Guru. Again, 298. Raven Jefferson, I appreciate you. Where we at? Down bottom. Bow. Shout out HG. Granny videos lit. OG Pitolera, crazy. Yo, the granny video's crazy. Well, my brother, I've watched this vision that you've had just blossom into a big bang. My brother, I've watched this vision that you've had blossom into a big bang. I think you're too big for YouTube. Salutes. I appreciate you, Raven. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot coming from y'all. With that said, I'll see y'all at the premiere for the Rehab Story. And then I'll see y'all Friday night, man. Y'all have a great night. Honey's up in the chat for y'all. We're going to get out of here. No music, no pomp and circumstance. We're just going to roll out. Y'all have a great day. Get that money. With that said, I will holla. Peace.